And now, stand and cheer for your Talking Basketball Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Talking Basketball Podcast. I am Bum.
I am Paul.
You're very excited today, aren't you?
No, Mark, it's difficult going from that intro in that transition where and now into you wanting me to say calmly going, hi, my name's Paul. How is everybody doing? My tempo is up here.
My dream is for you to be calm. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Never has, never will.
So that's why you asked me hello, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in announcing mode.
You are in announcing mode. Well, anyway, thank you very much for joining us for another edition. We have some interesting things to talk about today, and it's all going to focus around the NBA.
The NBA Cup, Mark, is here.
That is its official name,
here.
is it?
The NBA Cup, yes. So you said this in one of our other BBL, one of the BBL episodes, and I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not sure how I missed this, but yes, there is an NBA Cup, the equivalent of a FA Cup, like a tournament. You play one game, that's kind of it, like knockout. The only thing that I think is a bit I'm not sure about is
CAC.
It's they're advertising it as in-season tournament, and I'm like, why don't you call it the NBA Cup? Just say that. It's only as you get to the later stages they're saying they're playing for the NBA Cup, but I don't understand at the moment. All the media is in-season tournament in tonight's game. It's like, okay.
So it was originally announced. I know this much. I know they've put it on the wiki page, but it was Wojnarowski, who everyone knows is Woj, and Woj puts it on there, on all of the Instagrams, etc., Twitters. He's the one who always is like, this person's moving team. He's like got the inside track on everything that goes on. He's the one who announced it, and they've actually put here July the 6th this year that it was announced, or he leaked that there was going to be an in-season tournament.
Okay. Stop saying in-season tournament. It's the NBA Cup.
Wow. Everything they brand it is as NBA in-season tournament, and then when you read the stuff, it says NBA Cup.
Yeah, but NBA Cup sounds better, doesn't it?
It does.
The NBA Cup. So before I go any further about the NBA Cup, obviously you discussed the courts. There's unique courts, and every team has a unique court.
Yes.
And the reason I just want to stop on that is because we were approached by NBA Europe.
NBA Europe.
Asking what our favourite court was. Mark, I'm going to go for the Orlando Magic.
Ugh.
That is nice. It does look nice.
Have they played an in-season tournament game yet?
What, the Magic?
Yep.
I don't know. I know some of the teams have started their games, but I don't know about the Magic. But their court does look nice. All of the courts. I do love this. Like, I want to call it like almost a racing stripe going down the court. That looks really cool. I do think some of the color combinations are a bit out there, especially when you got like a darker one, like a dark purple or something, and you got the home team on white, looks great against the court, but then the away team might be like wearing like a similar dark color. You might lose a few players there on the like TV perspective, but I think it looks great. It's great. It's different.
So I've just looked here. Magic haven't played yet, and this could be annoying. It's doing a block because it's saying we're not in the country.
We are not in the country, Mark.
No.
We are in the UK.
Yeah. And it's coming up with
look, NBA in-season tournament.
Everything's saying in-season tournament tracker. But it's saying, oh, you can't do it because you're out of country, so you're blocked from looking at this.
Well,
okay. Well done, NBA.
So what's your favourite court?
So that was what I was going to say. I'm withholding what I'm going to decide until I've seen all the courts, because...
You got the pictures?
No, because... Look at the pictures of the courts, and then when you see the actual courts when they're live, they're super
quite shiny.
Vibrant. Yeah, the Bulls one looks amazing, like actually in color. The other one was Oklahoma. That blue kit, that court. I'll see if I can find it, but that looks so good.
I did wonder how much. I mean, I guess NBA teams don't need to worry about that. How much it actually costs to put a new floor down for that? If
peanuts.
Yeah. Well, not for me and you.
No, for them.
For those, I'm sure those peanuts to put that down would, be a mortgage.
Oh yeah, of course it would. I mean, that's what the court looked like.
Yeah, the Thunder one looks.
But when you
cool.
see it in life, it's like, oh, that is what the picture looked like.
The Lakers one looks quite nice.
Lakers ones look nice. The one that was, I thought, disappointing.
I did like the Magic grey. I'm not just saying it because I'm a Magic fan, but I really did like that one in particular. Maybe I've got rose tinted glasses on. I don't know, but that did look nice.
As in,
it does look nice.
So it looks quite like that. I haven't seen it in person yet, but it looks quite like the. I think Brooklyn played on a court that had that colour scheme, or I've seen something like that.
Yeah, it looked quite mono, but I thought they had quite a mono kit as well. So
yeah,
it's kind of went together.
Which I get, but you've got the Magic with that star on there, and if you look at that colour scheme there, if I said to you Dallas Cowboys, that's actually the Dallas Cowboys colours. Magic and Dallas, actually, I've got the Mavs hat on, obviously. But Magic and Dallas actually have quite a very similar colour scheme, where it's the blue, the silvery grey, sort of thing, black and white. That's a lot of their colour schemes. And then Magic have slightly different ones, and obviously Mavs have the greens, but their main colour that they're known for are both blue, silver, white, and black.
Yeah, it looks good. They all look good. I mean, some of the colours look a little bit like going back to the 70s and 80s, but there's nothing wrong with it. It looks good.
The Pelicans and Phoenix's ones are really cool because they're like this really bright, vibrant purple. And it's really like in your face.
Yeah, see, those are the ones that when I thought if a team is wearing a dark kit, could you get
that one? The Pacers, that looks amazing when it was actually out. It was that really. I mean, I like that.
What was that wooden with the green stripe? Who's that?
That one. That's Milwaukee, and
really nice one as well.
No,
I like that one. I like that one.
Really?
Yeah, I really like that one.
No, I thought it looked terrible. Because it was look.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Mark.
Yeah, but a minger's still a minger. When you see it in person, look, that's what it looks like. It's washed.
No, I like it.
Really?
Yeah, I really like it. I like the fact that it's very clear what you're playing for on the court, isn't it? We're playing for the NBA Cup. I'd love to see I haven't seen a picture of the actual cup itself, but I hope it's like the size. I'd be shocked if the hope is like the NBA Golden Ball Championship. I hope it's like that. Like that site, like height.
Well, I think they did have some pictures around of it. That is what the thing's going to look like. It's
no, I've seen that, but I don't like in. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, so it's almost, I guess, like the MVP award kind of size.
Quite similar.
Yeah,
and also a bit like the World Cup.
Yeah, ish.
Where you're going up to a point, and then there's a sort of semi-spherical thing.
That's very classic. That is, that's got like, I don't know, some exceptional artist sculpted that. It's got like what is it like? I don't know if it's angels or you got the women on the side holding up the actual world. But yeah. So anyway, Mark,
not the original one though, is it? That got stolen, didn't it?
No. Well, that you're talking about the Jules Rimet trophy. So yes, it got stolen. I believe it got stolen in England. I don't know if England had won it.
Did they?
England did win the World Cup in 1966.
That's what I was looking for.
So yeah, I believe it did get stolen, and it was in England. And I want to say it was found by a dog. It was wrapped up in fish and chip, with fish and chips with the wrapper. I'm not sure how, but this dog saw it, and the dog found the Jules Rimet trophy. But it was found, and I believe, I could be wrong on this, but I believe that Brazil won the World Cup 3 times, and once you win the World Cup, you keep the trophy. No, I think that will be, I don't know. The Football World Cup is arguably the best ever trophy made. It's got to be up there.
Really?
And to give that away to a country would be amazing for them, but it's like the World Cup, you then lose the best ever trophy made. So maybe they just say, Brazil, you keep it, but I don't know. I don't know if they're still going to let the team who win 3 keep that World Cup. I don't know. Anyway, look, we're getting away from it. So it's a lovely trophy. Right, so you want to know about the BBL Cup, Mark? So, sorry, I said BBL.
Wow.
That's how ingrained I am into the BBL at the
You are
moment.
frothing. With it.
So the NBA Cup. So they have a pot. So a bit like our FA Cup, where you put your hands in and stuff like that. They do a pot, but that pot is created based on the league standings from the previous year.
Yes.
And so they've done the draw. They put it in a pot, and then they pull the teams out. Right. So the teams are separated in Western Conference and Eastern Conference. Okay. You have 6 teams in each group. You have 3 groups in each conference. Okay, so that's a total of 6 groups. So let's do the West first. So Group A, you got the Grizzlies, Memphis Grizzlies, the Phoenix Suns, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Utah Jazz, and the Portland Trail Blazers. Hang on, that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. Sorry, there's 5 in each group. Yeah, 5, 15, 30. 30 teams in the NBA. Sorry, 5 teams in each group. Right, that's Group A. Group B, Denver Nuggets, Los Angeles Clippers, New Orleans Pelicans, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Houston Rockets. Group C, the Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors, Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, and San Antonio Spurs. Now moving over to the East, the Eastern Conference. In Group A is the Philadelphia 76ers, Cleveland Cavaliers, Atlanta Hawks, Indiana Pacers, Detroit Basketball, Detroit Pistons. In Group B, we got the Milwaukee Bucks, New York Knicks, Miami Heat, Washington Wizards, Charlotte Hornets. And in Group C, the Boston Celtics, the Brooklyn Nets, Toronto Raptors, Chicago Bulls, and the Orlando Magic. Right, so this is a really interesting point, okay? So these are the groups. So you have 5 teams in the groups. Now, you are not playing any more in the group stage. You're not playing any more games in your regular season. So let's, for example, Orlando Magic are going to take on the Chicago Bulls. That isn't a cup game. That is a regular season game that also counts for the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really
Clever.
valid. It's really interesting. Well, it's an amazing idea because, they're, got to be going for
Adds
these
extra
NBA
weight,
Cups.
doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, that's a great idea.
Especially if you have, let's be fair, there are going to be some games where you're playing a team that you go, they're not going to be as good.
We're not going to rest players anymore. We need to win this.
And they're already trying to push, the league's done a lot of things about stopping the resting. So this is going to incentivize people more.
Yeah, it's great. Absolutely fantastic idea.
Would you say, because this is the first one as well, it puts even more weight on it? Because would you want in history to be the first team to win?
Of course you would. Of course you would. Now look, let's just say randomly the Golden State Warriors, they don't win the 5th ring, but they win the NBA Cup. Is that a good way to sign out? Yeah, why not? Why not?
Oh, yeah, that would be
You go down in history as the NBA Cup champions, the first ever NBA Cup champions.
I don't
wonder
know how
if you
much.
get a ring. They must do. Would they get a ring? I don't know. I guess that's up to the owners. I don't think they have to get a ring for championships, do they? But I know that's quite an American thing.
Yeah, I don't think they should get a ring myself. Because what will happen is, if they do that, whoever wins this will try and make the ring more over the top than the people who win the league. And then you're going to be putting weight on what's more important, the cup or the league.
And it's number of rings as well.
Are you getting a separate MVP for the cup?
I would be shocked if there's not an MVP for the final, but I don't know that. I've only been looking at the actual
because an MVP
landscape of the tournament.
You have an MVP of the season, don't you? Usually, but you also have an MVP of the finals game, don't you?
So it would make sense that there's an MVP of the cup.
The actual cup final.
However, from an English perspective, we very well know that like from our FA Cup, you might have an amazing player all the way through to the final, and then they lose. Okay, or it doesn't even get to the final. It'll be interesting. If they did do an MVP, are they basing it on who gets to the final or the entire knockout phase?
Yeah, or it might just be the final. Who's the MVP of that
the
final?
The NBA finals. Yeah, but it probably will. But so everyone is only playing. There's 5 teams in a group, so you've got 4 games to play. And those 4 games are also regular season games, but you're only playing everyone once. So you're playing one team, that's it. You're moving on to the next one. So these are huge games now.
Oh, okay.
It's not home and away.
Oh, it's not home and away.
No.
So my other question then is, everyone plays everyone more than once, and if you're in, say, Miami versus Orlando, for example, they are not going to be in the same tiers, are they? Because if they were, when you're playing in your same division, you play more games, don't you? So Miami and Orlando, I think, play each other like 4 times during the season or something crazy like that. Whereas LA, where if they, the Lakers, East versus West, for example, you don't get Boston and Lakers only play each other twice, and everyone gets a home game, everyone gets an away game, basically.
Yeah. And what happens? So we've got these 6 groups now, 3 on the West, 3 on the East. Just for
okay, that's great
specificity. I don't know if that's a word. It feels like it's the right word. But if there are 2 teams that are joined, it goes on what they were like head to head.
Love it.
So it's So that's
how it should be.
It shouldn't go past that, I guess, because one of them are going to win.
Yeah.
So anyway, how does it work? I'm just trying to do the maths in my head now.
And that is also great, because if you had, say, I won't say a lesser team, but if you had Orlando, for example, beat the Lakers recently, and if you can imagine they come up head to head, you'd think, the Lakers
that's it. Yeah, so I've just remembered. So you got 6 groups, 3 in the East, 3 in the West.
Yep.
The winner of each group goes through to the quarterfinals.
So you'll have 6 teams.
6 teams. However, one team, wild card. You know the Americans love their wild cards. There is a wild card from the West, a wild card from the East, and that will be, out of all of the groups, who was the next team that had the best win percentage. And that's where it will go on, potentially head-to-head, points scored, blah, 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 all that, yeah?
Wow, okay.
So you've now got, the best performing in the NBA Cup team that came second, probably, I'd imagine, wild card, okay?
And I guess it'll go points 4 then, won't it? That'd be the first thing I'd assume. It'd be points 4.
No, so first of all, it's head-to-head in the group stage. Then it's point differential in the group stage. Then it's total points scored in the group stage. Then it goes to the regular season from 2022-23.
Wow, okay.
And I don't really get this. Number 5, it says random drawing.
Yeah, it's never going to get to that.
So that is, I guess that's the old classic coin toss, isn't it? Or they put the head end. Wild card is. That would be great. That would be great. Imagine you're like.
That would. People would
You're
be
second and you're sitting there and go, right, here we go. Who is it? It's number 3, Orlando Magic. Wild card.
That would be annoying.
Right. Anyway, so you now have your quarterfinals in the NBA Cup. Now, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, you now have your 8 teams, your quarterfinals. Now, this is what I thought was really interesting. Huge pause.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's this? Suspense.
Because on this page I'm looking at, it says 1st seed, 4th seed. I'm looking like I don't.
Didn't bring your glasses again, did you?
So yeah, I don't know. Oh, so sorry. So based on the seedings that they entered, that's when I think they're working out the quarterfinals. But I'm not sure. Anyway, look, you got your 8 teams. Now those 8 teams will play it's quarterfinals. So you're going to get one team. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So 8 teams, you're in quarterfinals, one game, you win, you're through to the semis, you lose, you're out.
Yep.
Right. That's what we like. However, this was really interesting. The quarterfinal also counts. So quarterfinals and the semi-final also counts as a regular season game. Oh, I knew I'd free you of that. I had to process that one. Again, it's bringing more weight to the quarterfinals and the semi-finals as far as the regular season. It's great idea. Great idea.
How does that work with the scheduling then, I guess?
Well, they'll just move it around, won't they?
Yeah.
So the and look, when you talk, there's going to be loads of games still because the quarterfinals are getting played in like December this year.
Yeah.
So we were still early in the season, really.
So they must have designed. I mean, I haven't looked at that way, the teams wise, but they must have done that on paper, knowing if we put these people in groups together here, by the time they'd have gone through and done their cycle, when they get to the quarterfinals, we're not logistically going to be stitching people up too much, like saying, well, hang on, you guys have already played twice. Now you're going to go play again in a different thing.
Yeah. So it's
okay.
Quarterfinals and semi-finals count as will be normal regular season's game. However, there is a however. The semi-finals are played at a neutral venue.
Oh.
And the neutral venue is Viva Las Vegas.
Oh, no.
Viva!
Really?
Yes. The semi-finals and the final is played in Vegas. I did wonder at this point.
Why is that? They saying that's neutral, yeah?
That's neutral, but I did wonder at this point, if a Vegas team enters the NBA, would they change it if they got to the semi-final or the final? Because it's home court advantage, isn't it? However, in the same breath, because it's Vegas and you've got so many tourists, I don't know. Anyway, that's a debate for another day. So by Christmas, this is over. You know that. By Christmas, this tournament's over.
Yeah.
So
the reason I was saying that with the weighting with the teams is because, as you know, from things like Orlando, for example, at the beginning of the season, they typically pay a certain... There's a few teams that usually they play, and it's the same across the league. There's often you go, oh, we usually play the Lakers around this time of the year, or we usually play these teams around this time of the year. So they must have done that in consideration when they built who's in what group. Yeah, I would guess.
Yeah, and look, no one's overplaying any games and stuff like that. I think it is such an amazing, well thought out,
well played. Yeah, really good.
It's brilliant.
They've
Absolutely
done well.
Brilliant. And look, we all love the fact that you have knockout basketball as well.
Yes.
You know, when you get these teams that can beat giants in the NBA, you know, we've seen it. But when these teams like beat a giant in the game one, it's like they're not bothered. You know, the big guys aren't bothered. They're like, oh, okay, we got another 6 games to make up for it, isn't it? Matt, that goes out the window with this. You know, you have a bad day, boom, you're out. You're out of the tournament. Tournament's over.
Well, I think you've got to credit whoever came up with the idea for the play-in tournament for the league, because I think that's what's making it so successful. This whole idea of the cup, that they've done this
possibly, yeah,
because
a lot of weight on one game. I mean, you've got one game. You're going straight into like a game 7, aren't you?
Think of the play-in last year. Lakers and Miami were both teams that were out.
Yeah,
they were out.
What Miami did,
and look what they both did.
Yeah,
they did really well. Why? Because they won the play-in. Because they put weight behind that. Now, some argued at that time the disadvantage was that is then you rest players, and then you just say mid-table, and then get enough to get to the bottom, and then when you get there, bang, you go full bananas. And you look at someone like Milwaukee, who had that amazing run, went in, crashed out, and then obviously we had that famous Giannis speech saying, you know.
But there's another argument to that, which is you're playing at that intensity.
Yeah.
Some people go, yeah, we got 2 weeks off. You're resting. We're ready for the finals. But okay, you've got another team that is at that intensity. Bam, we're here. Right, 2 days later, bam, we're still here. We're now going into the game.
They got
You've been resting for 2 weeks.
Yeah, 100%.
But what I like about this, you get to the quarterfinal stage, you get to December, bam, every game's game 7. Like game 7, here we go, game 7. It's not I can have a bad day and I've got another 6 games to make up for it. It's
Congratulations, NBA. You've suddenly made this season even more interesting.
Yeah, well, look, these cup games are going to be great. And what I love about it is you've got the semi-finals on the 7th of December. And then the final 2 days later on the 9th of December.
I mean, we're recording now. It's the 6th of November right now. And you think that's within a month they're playing those games?
Yeah.
To finalise it.
And so the semi-final and the final are like 2 days apart in Vegas. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Mark. That is as much information as I've found out about it.
The Vegas thing also puts weight behind the whole. They're trying to get that Vegas team. And where they've got the women's team already there. The Raiders, obviously Oakland Raiders famously moved the NFL team. They're not doing that great at the moment. I think they won the last game, actually. But the Raiders, they moved to Las Vegas. The WNBA team, they're in Vegas. Everyone knows that they're trying to get an NBA team and a new franchise there. Hopefully, if they do, that'll mean that Seattle paves the way.
Yeah.
So I understand why they're doing it. It's a good way to test it, if nothing else. I just don't think it's
one big thing.
It is a West Coast place, though. That's I'm just speaking from neutrality point of view. Vegas is on the West Coast. It's not on the East. It's not neutral.
Well, it's a neutral city, isn't it?
It's neutral because there's no incumbent team there.
Yeah. But sorry, I have missed one really valuable thing out. You know, I said these are all season games, in-season games.
Yes.
They all count for the season. The final doesn't.
No, well, that would make sense.
The final doesn't. The final is like, bam, you guys are playing. Here we go, game 7. Let's go.
Up to the semi-finals.
Up to the semi-finals, I believe. The only thing I didn't understand when I read this is the remaining teams that don't make it into the knockout round will play consolation matches against teams that were also eliminated in the same round and in the same conference if possible, in order to make sure all teams play a total of 82 regular season games for the season.
Okay, they're going to do a pickup. Yeah.
I didn't really understand that.
They're basically saying we're going to throw someone a bone if they fall out. They're still going to have. They've got.
But these are all season games, so I didn't really get that. Yeah. Oh, are they saying you've already played them?
Yeah.
You can't play them again if that happens.
Yes.
That's okay. Got it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean.
And do you know what that would be? That would be 100% because of TV rights. Because when they have ESPN and TNT and all these, Sky, all the Fox, anything like that, they will all be tied in with, you have to show X amount of games, you have to show this many big market, this many small market, etc., etc.
Yeah. And
man, that's really exciting.
Just to confirm, the statistics from the final will not be counted as regular season totals. You didn't like that stat, but hey, you get 50 points in the final. You're in a new NBA Cup category. So Mark,
none of it would count to your regular season, or it would count.
The final doesn't count.
Okay.
So you score 50 points in the NBA Cup final. That doesn't count for your regular season points.
So so just out of interest, when someone is a ticket holder for a team, Miami Heat, you're a season ticket holder. When they're doing cup games, you're effectively getting it's like a 2-for-1 almost, isn't it?
You're still watching a regular season game, but it's got more. It's a game 7 in the cup.
Yeah, it's got double weight. But if they get through to the semi-finals, they're in Vegas, so you'd have to go buy a ticket for that, wouldn't you?
I don't. Well, you would have to go get a ticket and fly to Vegas.
Which I guess means that semi-finals and finals probably don't count for the league.
Semi-finals are regular season games. And it's the final and only the final that is not a regular season.
So I wonder.
That's why this stat says Oh God, where is it?
So I wonder how season ticket holders, it's like a genuine question. If you're a season ticket holder and someone says this is a regular season game, well, is it a home game or is it a away game? Well, it's neither. Well,
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. They might lose a game at home.
Okay. Yeah, because no one gets no one's getting the away stat because they're both away.
Yeah.
So would that go down as an away stat for the team itself? I guess for both teams because they're both away technically.
Yeah, I guess it would go down away at Vegas.
I'm just thinking on the stats. It's got to be one or the other, isn't it? Neither of them are home.
It'll be away, won't it? But look, Mark, you got to give it to the NBA. They have created the NBA Cup, and the only disappointing thing about this is they keep saying in season tournament. Like, that sucks. Just call it the NBA Cup. But look, huge shout out to the NBA for creating the NBA Cup, and we're all excited for December 9th.
Absolutely massive.
There is your NBA Cup update, Mark.
NBA are on
Done.
a roll. Bringing back East versus West, bringing back some intensity, bringing an in-season cup. It's all coming on, isn't it?
And look, I look forward to seeing the Orlando Magic in Vegas. Viva Las Vegas!
They're not getting that.
Viva! That's how you should finish this song, Elvis.
What with Viva Las Vegas?
Would you better get around the copyrights with that?
What with Elvis? Hell no.
Or you could just get like a crappy version, like on.
Well, I just did.
Karaoke.
We just heard it.
Crappy, yeah, I'll do it. Viva. Oh, right.
No,
there you go.
That was really
There's
cool.
your NBA Cup. Done.
Thank
Mic
you
drop.
for enlightening us. So
Mic
yeah,
drop.
when are the is it just got the NBA and it has when the rotors are up, or is it just the in-season game? Does it like star it against?
I don't know.
No, I'm just because the only reason I'm saying it is because I'm not in a. We've had loads of positives, just as a negative. You can't really look at it very easily in the UK because there's lots of things flagging up saying we're not in your country, and it's like
it's the NBA Cup. If you see the court, you turn up and you go, "Oh, wow, okay, we've got an NBA Cup game today." That's the only thing.
that was what I was going to finish on. Once I've seen all of the actual courts in real life, I'll probably make a decision. But at the moment, I think Chicago and Oklahoma and Miami, those ones were really stood out because they're so vibrant.
Well, I know NBA Europe were keen to know what your favourite courts were, so I've given mine, Mark, and so I'm sure they'll be waited with anticipated breath. To find out what your favourite one is.
Yeah. Once I've seen them all, NBA Europe, you can expect a message from me.
Well, I genuinely like. I'd say 90% of them. It's more the 80s colours that I'm just like, oh, it's all right, it's okay, it's out there, but it's different, it's new. This is the NBA Cup, it's new, it's different. But I do like the Orlando Magic, the cowboy colours. I do like it. But maybe I got the rose tinted glasses on, Mark.
Definitely
Maybe I have.
Dallas dropped the ball. I'm pretty sad about their court, so I don't know.
Well, there we go. NBA
Cuban,
Cup.
you could have done better.
Wow.
You know you could have done better.
Don't slag off Cuban.
Mate, I love Cuban. I'm wearing his hat. I love it.
We worked out we're 4 people away from
6 people away.
No, that we worked out.
We worked
probably
out probably
3 or 4.
3 or 4, yeah.
3 or 4. So be nice to him, and he might come into your studio one day.
Mr. Cuban, I think you're awesome, but you definitely dropped the ball on that design. It needs to be better.
Mr. Cuban, I love you. Right, are we going?
Wrap it up. Well, thank you for listening to another edition of the Talking Basketball podcast. We hope you've enjoyed this one, being enlightened by our knowledge of the NBA in-season tournament, or the NBA Cup, as it likes to be called. If you haven't listened to all our episodes previously, go back and check them out. We've got lots and lots coming up, so stay tuned. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it with your friends, tell everyone to go and check out the Talking Basketball podcast, and send us your emails, ukbasketballpodcast@gmail.com, or go on our Instagram and check it out. I've been Mark. Thank you very much for listening, wherever you are, what you're up to.
Laters. Boom.